Alright everyone, my name's Kaminski, and if you're new here, I'm a guitarist from the UK, and today we're going to go through one of my guitars in my collection, namely my Strandberg collection. It's been a long old while since my first episode of this series where I covered my 2015 Boden OS 6, but today we're talking about a very special guitar of mine, my 2017 Boden Original in red. So this guitar is really special to me because basically me and my partner Zoe went on a trip to London for just a bit of time away, and I was a bit eager to go to the Guitar in Camden to check out some guitars and stuff, and mostly because they had Strandbergs in stock, and the only Strandberg I'd played up until that point was my 2015 Boden OS 6. So to give you a bit of context, we went in April 2018, and the very first models of the guitars came out with the the genre names. So the prog, the metal, and the original and the fusion had just dropped. So they'd moved away from the OS line of things, and I suppose they'd gone more towards this like genre-focused design on the guitars. Basically, my plan was to try a natural prog 6 with a trem and get one, okay, and buy one. So that was the plan. Obviously that didn't happen, so what happened was I was really after a trem, okay. I'd grown up playing tremolo guitars ever since my first guitar, because I'd had a Squier Strat as my first guitar, and whilst the trem on it was awful, I still did used to use it a fair bit, and I also used trem on my second guitar, which was a Yamaha Pacifica. It was just like 160 quid from my local music shop, and it had a trem on it as well, and I used that a little bit more. Then I moved to an Ibanez, which had a trem, and then I had an Ibanez 7-string, which also had a trem. So I've really grown up playing trem guitars, and at the time, when I grabbed that first Strandberg, when they just dropped the OS line, they didn't even offer tremolo guitars, which I didn't mind. I was just so stoked on having a Strandberg, I decided to get it. But ever since I'd had it, I'd felt like something was missing. And you know when sometimes that happens and you're never quite sure what it is, but then it just like the penny drops and you're like, oh yeah, I'm sort of missing having a trem. I really loved having the hardtail Strandberg, and I still play it a hell of a lot today. Like, I just released a masterclass at the time of filming this, and basically the majority of the masterclass was on that 2015 Strandberg. But I wanted a tremolo, and what happened was when I went to try these Strandbergs, I sat down and started playing a few, and I'd never played a 7 or an 8-string Strandberg, so I tried out a few 7 and 8 strings as well, and I was like, okay, let's just try this red original, okay? Sat down with it, started playing a few notes, and that really funny thing happened, you know, when when you sit down with a guitar and it just sort of clicks. And I wasn't expecting it, because all of the Strandbergs played great, but I started playing a few notes with this guitar, and then like as soon as that started happening, I basically kind of fell in love with it, to be honest. And it's just funny how that happens, because I'd built up in my mind that I was going to get a natural prog guitar, but I ended up with this instead, and the colour didn't even matter at that point. I'd sat down and started playing it, and everything was perfect. And it's a funny thing, like you might sit down in a guitar store and start playing a guitar, and it might just feel amazing, and it might have just been set up perfectly, and it's just stayed set up really well, or the way the trem action had been set up, like the actual height of the tremolo and everything had been perfectly set up, or it had new strings, that sort of thing, or the way the neck looked and felt. I just really loved it, so I decided to pick it up there and then, and basically haven't looked back since. I wrote my very first EP with this guitar, which was called Somnium, and that was a real learning curve for me, because I'd never really written anything worth releasing before, but I decided to push myself, and that was in 2017 and 2018, and that was really fun to write that EP. So yeah, this guitar is 2017 red original. So it's got Sir pickups in it, the SSV and the SSH Plus, Rev 5 tremolo, and it's got really lovely split coil sounds and really spanky. It's probably one of like the tightest sounding Strandbergs I own. For those curious about tremolos, it's set up with 2 springs, and it is just a bit of a beast, to be honest. It's an absolute shred machine. I've got it tuned up to standard E. It might change in the future, but this is like the main guitar. If I ever need to do anything in standard tuning, this is like the guitar I'm going to pick up. And yeah, I've played the hell out of it. The fretboard's starting to get really shiny, and yeah, if I've missed anything or if I've not covered any aspects of the guitar, let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to you. But I'm going to end this video with some more noodling on it, and I hope you enjoy. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys around. Cheers.